Welcome to the Popish Plot. I'm Nate.
I'm Jessica.
And I'm Mike.
And today we're here with another one of our "It's not scripture, but people thought it should have been" books.
Yes, today we're talking about 2 Clement, also called the Second Epistle of Clement, the Second Epistle of St. Clement, Clement from Clement to Corinthians, which was also what 1 Clement is sometimes called, and an ancient Christian homily.
A lot of possible titles to the Second Clement.
Most of them, in my opinion, are redundant. I mean,
so the fact that it's called Second Clement is inherently a claim that it was authored by Pope St. Clement I, also known as Clement of Rome.
And it was the second one that he did of particular note.
Which some early writers thought he did.
Mm-hmm.
However, you're going to have to say the guy who wrote all those Eusebius and St. Jerome both doubted that he wrote it and that it was written during the time in which he would have been alive.
Yeah. So Clement dies approximately the year 96, certainly dead by the year 100.
Yes, but modern scholars largely think it was written... The wide range is between 100 and 174, but 120 to 140 is the most popular range by an unknown author as it being a sermon or a homily. And if that is correct, it is one of the first written down homilies outside of the New Testament. Because again, it didn't make it in.
Yeah. And we do get some basic homiletics in there.
Some people think it was written by another bishop in Rome. So whether Pope or like a sub-bishop, we don't know. Or
in which case,
in Corinth.
Yeah, in which case, like, the title Clement would be kind of okay, the same way that centuries later, when the tome of Leo is read in a council, the council fathers all stand up and say, "Peter has spoken."
Yes. Yes. Or possibly even someone from Alexandria, Egypt. I have not heard details on why, just some people think so.
Sure, and we don't possess the technical skill, that deep a knowledge of church history to say, well, this has the characteristics of the Alexandrian school. But we do know that there was a giant school of catechetics in Alexandria, so sure, seems like it could come out of there.
Yeah, and...
Also, they love their riots in Alexandria.
And given the time, it's like, oh, it got written by one of the popes. Oh, we mean one of the patriarchs, because, that was one of the early...
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of the original 4 patriarchal sees. Should be noted, no offense to our brothers and sisters in the East, but Constantinople is a Johnny-come-lately.
Well, I mean, it was like, I don't even know what it was named back then. It was probably like 3 name changes before.
Byzantium. Yeah. It wasn't even Constantinople until almost 300. But that's neither here nor there.
All right. It's thought it might have been connected to Clement because it's to the Corinthians, and the same as him.
As we talked about a few episodes back, in first Clement, those guys needed continual scolding. So not only did Paul have to do it twice, possibly as many as 4 times, but Clement also had to write to them to say, "Stop doing what you're doing."
Yeah.
Yes.
It also used a quote that had been used in his previous letter.
Yes, one of the quotes that wasn't just from the Bible itself, but one of those other lost sources. So,
what is it about the Phoenix?
No,
nothing about the Phoenix in 2 Clement.
There is nothing.
Color me disappointed.
I know.
I'm disappointed.
And it had been placed after 1 Clement in books, like the Codex Alexandrinus.
Ooh.
And I'm not even going to try that one.
Hierosolmitanus.
Yes. So it might have got its name, much like how metaphysics got its name because it was put after physics in a book. And they're like, all right, this is what comes after physics.
Metaphysics. But it was in some ancient codices, but not judged scripture, but we'll get to that.
And it was first referenced in Eusebius's Ecclesiastical History, which was written in the 4th century.
Yes, by someone who pointed out this is not something I think is the Bible.
Like, yes, this is a thing. It exists. We know of it, but it's not scripture.
This is a thing. It's not a bad thing. We don't think it's a good thing though.
It's not a good thing.
Yes.
So, 2 Clement is approximately 20 chapters long. It appears to have been perhaps given orally. It sounds like it anyway. It sounds more like a speech than a letter. It doesn't have the characteristic opening of a letter. And it sounds like they're addressing a group of converts from paganism. So, not like a bunch of converts from Judaism.
Yep. It quotes the Bible a lot. It also quotes additional early church writings and quotes thought to be from early church writings that we've lost most of, like the Gospel of Peter or the Gospel of the Egyptians, which we're not talking about like a Gnostic gospel. It was just, this was something that people put down, much like this. It was pious writing of the era.
Not scripture, but good pious writing.
I'm pretty sure the Gospel of Peter was not written by Peter because he had his, scribe write his one.
Because look, no, that was Paul.
Yes,
look
Paul
at how big I write.
Yeah, my own hand.
And its main themes are repenting of sin,
which is a good thing,
and committing to self-control and good works. So
also good things.
Pretty much every single thing we've ever seen written to the Corinthians. Guys, knock it off!
With the extreme sinning, enough already.
You guys, when we said original sin, we didn't mean you have to come up with a new one each time.
Even the pagans don't do this stuff. Come on. But so, there's no...
I'm now imagining that the actual thorn in Paul's side is just every time he hears something
it's
about
the church in Corinth, yeah.
I know.
I'm responsible for those guys.
I know.
They're my fault.
I know I said you need to reach out to sinners. This was not what I meant.
You guys are really... So, one of the arguments, one of the strong arguments against 2 Clement being considered scripture is the fact that there's nothing even... There's no doctrine, or there's no new doctrine or anything in 2 Clement. It's just an exhortation to what you already have. Mm-hmm. It's not defining anything.
Yes.
It's just saying, do better.
Yes. Also,
the thing you guys are doing? You shouldn't be doing that.
Yes. Also, there's the fact that it is an unknown writer. And
so even though it's called 2 Clement, the author really isn't known. And there's only one biblical book where the author is truly unknown that still made it, or at least one New Testament book where the author is truly unknown that is in Scripture.
There's also some questions as to the date of its writing that would suggest that it can't be nailed down to being within the period that it would have needed to be written to be in the Bible, as all the other Bible books are.
Mm-hmm. Yes. 174 is definitely well past,
It's a great time to be a Christian. There's lots of people. There's still a few people who knew, apostles, but the era of public revelation is closed by that point.
Mm-hmm. However, it was considered as a possibility for the canon in the Coptic and Eastern Orthodox churches for a while because, again, it doesn't have anything wrong. There's not the one phoenix that lives out in Arabia that we have to believe.
It's a good writing. It's just not a good writing.
There's no child Jesus performing miracles. But, again, writing can be very, very, very good. The Didache. And still not be scripture. And, I'm going to suspect that the fact that it was... Some people are attributing it to maybe an Alexandrian author would be a pretty strong argument for the Copts. Because, they always stand up for a hometown boy.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you can't blame them on
that. I don't. I do not. Those guys have hung around for the whole duration of Christianity. And they're still hanging on today. The Copts are very impressive.
And they developed, anime-style art well before, Japan. I love their icons, but they do kind of look...
Are their icons kawaii?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
A little bit.
Unlike in the Middle Ages in Europe, where we made Jesus a very tiny, buff, bald guy... They made Jesus to have eyes that are inhumanly large but cute.
Well, that's because he is the light.
I kind of want to see this now.
All right, so
I'm going to go look this up after we get done filming this.
All right,
but for now, go down below and leave us a comment. Have you read 2 Clement? What did you think?
Would you like to read 2 Clement?
If you haven't read 2 Clement, have we given you reason to consider doing so?
Mm-hmm. Or really, it should be called An Ancient Christian Homily.
Yes.
Are there other books which you feel maybe got short shrift in Bible selection, and you would like us to discuss why it was that they did not get chosen?
We're open to almost anything.
Yeah, but except for the Gospel of Thomas. That one's just far too afield.
No, but it would be fun just to make fun of it for a few minutes.
That's fair. So, give us suggestions.
I mean, I imagine like a lot of things. We got all the juicy bits, and like there's lots of stuff in it that are just boring stuff. We're like, yeah, okay, I could see how someone.
And then we spent 2 hours walking, and then we spent 2 hours walking to Bethany.
Well, everything in it is either crazy heretical nonsense, or this is unobjectionable but also unremarkable. Then more crazy heretical nonsense.
All right.
We walk, and there's some crazy heretical nonsense. We walk, and there's some.
All right, so go down below. Comment with books you want us to discuss, or the craziest thing from the Gospel of Thomas.
Give this episode a like, subscribe to our channel, ring the church bell to be notified the next time we talk about a book that's not in the Bible or another subject.
And until next time, remember to live your faith.
Love your faith.
And share that love.